This is an Eye on Annapolis special update.
Sitting here in the coolest little coffee shop in Annapolis. Well, it's not the coolest because we got a ton of cool coffee shops, but we're at the Red Bean Ice Cream and Coffee right up on Upper Main Street with Erik Evans, who is the executive director. And you probably got another title. I mean, you're probably like the do-it-all for the Downtown Annapolis Partnership, which is the entity that represents the businesses in downtown. Is that probably a very simplified version of what it is that you...
Absolutely. We represent businesses and restaurants and work together with local governments to make downtown Annapolis even better.
Have you figured out how to shake down the local governments yet?
We work well with them, so sometimes we have our successes and sometimes we keep our challenges on for another year.
Well, what we want to do is we want to talk this week about Restaurant Week, which is coming up really quickly. It is coming up this is the first time I think it's ever been held on February 29th.
That's right.
I haven't looked at a calendar, but I think I'm going to go with that.
I think you're correct. So it's fun. Just remember Leap Year's Restaurant Week to kick off.
Well, that gets you an extra day.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, Restaurant Week is just a wonderful time for any number of different reasons. And this started, I can't remember how many years. I think we're on the
12 or 13
years. 13 years. Yeah. You look at a soft time for us. I mean, let's face it, we're a tourist town. And, restaurants typically get a little bit light. And, I mean, they end up, there's not enough, but there's not that many servers there and everything else. And this is a time to give the community a boost. But for those that like to dine out, it's
the perfect win-win situation.
It really is. It gets people out of their home in the winter, if we had a winter this year. But
I think it finally started today.
Yeah, I want snow. Can you arrange that?
I would love to see some snow.
This is a beautiful town in snow.
It really is.
And I do miss the snow this winter. I've been squawking about it every time I get the chance. But I don't think we're getting any this year, which is really kind of disappointing. But be that as it may, Restaurant Week rolls in on the 29th of February. It does go through the 8th of March, so you do get a week and a day because it is a leap year. This year there's 40 or more restaurants. I know there's more that are still coming on board, and they have to get their...
We have 40 confirmed, and I think we have another 4 out there that are pending that will probably be joining in.
Right, and they've got to get their menus and everything else there like that. But this is a time where all the restaurants come together and they have a price-fixed meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some of them don't do breakfast. Most of them don't do breakfast, but lunch or dinner. And you can get it for $12.95 a breakfast, $15.95 for a lunch, and $34.95 for a dinner, which is just a fabulous way to try out some of the old favorites and some of the new ones.
Absolutely. It is a fun time to go out with your friends and family. And I always like to try to make sure that I break my habits of my favorite restaurants and try some new ones so that I can diversify my dining throughout the rest of the year.
All right, you pop that genie out of the bottle. What's your favorite restaurants?
Well, I tend to pick the ones that are just closest to home. I love the fact that I can walk to restaurants. So I typically pick restaurants that I get in my car for during restaurant weeks to expand things out a little bit.
You avoided the question. What's your favorite restaurants? Come on, put me on the
spot. I love I go to Caliente Grill a lot for Latin food. I love going, the restaurants along Eastport for a nice steak at like Lunas, or, my fiance loves going to Carroll's Creek.
Well, congratulations on the fiance.
Yes, thank you so much. McGarvey's has a great deal on oysters this winter, so I have spent a lot of time in there. So,
well, it's funny you mentioned 2 restaurants. I'm going to say at the extreme, and this is Restaurant Week is for every restaurant. Okay, Caliente is I don't want to say on the lower end because they're absolutely fabulous. They're one of my favorite restaurants in town, but it's not an expensive restaurant. Okay, but they packaged it up to make it work out as well. But Lunas's, arguably, that is probably one of the more expensive restaurants in town, and that's Lunas's is not a every night restaurant for me.
That's right. I looked at reservations for Lunas a couple days ago, and for Saturday, for on Leap Day, they are almost sold out for dinner. So if that's one of the places on your list, I say make your reservations now.
That's an important thing too. Is you want to make sure you get your reservations for some of the restaurants there. I mean, you've got some great ones in there. You've got Harry Brown's, you've got Lunas's, as you mentioned, Carroll's Creek. Those ones will sell out for sure. On the lower end, you've got Caliente, which is a fast, affordable, fun place to go. 49 West, a great place for lunch or maybe a Sunday brunch with jazz. The Smokehouse, Main and Market. There's tons of restaurants that are out there, and I like it because I can explore the new ones. And I know new ones this year. We've got the Camp Severn Shore, which is in the former Baroque at the Graduate Hotel, which I have not tried yet, but I've heard good things about, and I'm looking forward to trying that.
I've been hearing good as well with them.
Rodizio over at the Annapolis Mall, and that is the Brazilian steakhouse. And I'm very excited to try that because I do love Fogo de Chao up in Baltimore or D.C.
See, and I've never done a Brazilian steakhouse, so that's on my list.
Oh,
as
you
well
need
to try.
you need to. Rodizio, and then I don't know whether they were here last year, but also a great, somewhat newcomer to the restaurant scene, not as being a restaurant, but a new name, is Latitude 38 down on City Dock.
Latitude is be their second year doing, but a lot of people haven't had a chance to try them out, so it's a great one to try. Paladar Kitchen just signed up. They will be new with Restaurant Week, so there's a lot of fun things to try.
We've got out to the Annapolis Town Center. We've got the Annapolis Mall. We've got certainly downtown.
Eastport has people's Forest Drive has restaurants.
Okay, but you've got all that restaurant row, as they call it in Eastport. You've got Forest Drive, which has some great restaurants there. And, back on Latitude 38, they've got a great little, we'll call it a wine club, if you will, and they're sort of the happy hour club, which I think is like really cool. It's like $25 a month, and you get a bottle of wine once a month, so it pretty much pays for itself. But you get happy hour pricing anytime you dine there, which is really kind of cool. And actually, you're going to get happy hour at any place in the place. So if you're eating dinner, you can get happy hour pricing on your booze. You don't have to be in the bar.
And actually, if you go there for Restaurant Week, they'll actually give you your first month free if you want to join the club.
Ooh, coming out with the deal. That's awesome. Latitude 38 is on my list, absolutely, for sure. Again, Miss Shirley's is in there. That's a great place for breakfast. They're one of the few that do offer breakfast. Get out there. How do we park down here? And that's, everyone always squawks, and you know that I feel that there's not really a parking problem, it's a parking perception. But what's up with parking this year?
So a lot of the restaurants participate in Park and Shop, which means that they will validate parking if you go to a garage. Also, if you're a city resident, you get 2 hours free in the garage. You just have to stop by 60 West Street to the parking office, and you pick up your validation so that you can park for free.
And that is, I just want to clarify that is actually the corporate limits of the city. Yes. Even though, like, I know Hillsmere is considered Annapolis, and I know parts of Arnold are considered Annapolis, but it is actually the corporate limits of the city.
Yes, and if you go to the website of AnnapolisRestaurantWeek.com, there's information about parking. And as you remember, it's the off-season, so parking is much more plentiful than if you were to come down on an 80-degree night in June when everybody's down here eating ice cream. Also,
you've got the circulator that's running around town as well. So you can park in any of the garages, or if you can find some street parking, you can do that. The Parkmobile app is very convenient to use. It does cost a little bit of a fee, but I'll tell you, just coming here today, I grabbed my bag of microphones, walked out of my car, and as I'm walking up the sidewalk, I tapped in and paid my $1.45 to park, and I'm good to go, I hope. Restaurant Week, definitely want to get out. We're going to be talking to a couple different restaurants to find out what they've got going for Restaurant Week, how excited they are about it, and I hope that people are as excited as I am. I mean, you always do such a great job. The restaurants always do. The best resource is to go to AnnapolisRestaurantWeek.com.
Absolutely.
Which is the little subsite of Downtown Annapolis Partnership. You put that on, and you've got all the restaurants listed. You've got all the parking options. You've got their menus, if they have them, and the ability to make a reservation if you want.
Absolutely. And then if you follow us on Facebook, or you follow I in Annapolis on Facebook, you'll find out ways where you can actually get dinner for free. We're going to do some fun little giveaway contests.
Oh, you're giving me free swag?
I'm giving you some free swag.
This is awesome. The morning is getting better as we speak. We've got great hot chocolate at the Red Bean, and now we're getting like free stuff to give away. This is awesome. But yeah, no, we will be giving away some gift certificates or gift cards. I guess they're not certificates anymore.
Yeah, gift cards that'd be $50 a piece, and we will be announcing them all throughout the next couple weeks as we run up to Restaurant Week.
We are updating. We've sent out a couple email blasts as well, and we are updating that as restaurants come on board. And I'm excited to hear that about 4 more are coming on there. I think Annapolis is really sort of going through a resurgence in the restaurant world. We've got some fantastic restaurants in town that we certainly didn't have 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You look at, Vin 909 is absolutely wonderful. You've got Lunas's, which has been here forever, but has never wavered on their wonderfulness, and Carroll's Creek as well. Latitude 38 being new, Camp Severn Shore being new. So there's a lot of options in Annapolis, which is really exciting. A lot of people don't consider it a foodie town, but if you scrape the surface a little bit, I think we are. I think you're going to be surprised. It's very neat to see the city evolve in food, certainly in art and music. We've got a lot of public art. We've got that new statue of that Italian guy at the Circle at Westgate Circle.
Speaking of art, Restaurant Week is a great time to pair together a dinner and a show. There is live music every night at Ram's Head, 49 West, Stan and Joe's, and a lot of the restaurants downtown. think Maryland Hall and Shakespeare Theater all have performances that week. So it'd be a fun way to just combine, going out and seeing a show and having a great dinner.
Just one question before we wrap up, Eric. I want to find out, Dinner Under the Stars happening again?
Absolutely.
Okay. My favorite Wednesdays of the summer.
Favorite Wednesdays of the summer should start the end of May.
Fantastic. Is it going to go any later?
It'll go to mid-September. We'll do it for 17 weeks again, weather permitting. Knocking on wood really hard here, guys.
That is so tough to do, but it's such a wonderful evening. And for those that are listening that don't know what Dinner Under the Stars is, this is another one where you do need to get reservations. And if you've never eaten in the middle of West Street, you got to do it.
Do it.
The tables are out there. Dinner Under the Stars. You can find out all that information at the Downtown Annapolis Partnership Facebook page when that comes up, but certainly you want to follow them to make sure that you're getting in on any of the swag that they're giving away for Restaurant Week. Get out of the house, give up cooking for a week, and go explore some of the great restaurants we have here in Annapolis.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing everyone out at the restaurants.
And as we said with Eric, we're out here talking with some people in Restaurant Week land, and we are here today with Lee Hurt, who is with the Blackwall Hitch in Annapolis. You're there at 6th and Severn, I believe, right?
Exactly. That's where we are. We are at the gateway of Eastport, right across the
I can't wait to get up on your roof in the spring again and have good cocktails and good dinner up on the rooftop there.
That is my favorite place to be, and not just in the springtime, but the best time for me is right in the end of summer when it just starts to get cool before we tent it over. But, all season long. It's a lot of fun.
Can't argue with that. Although downstairs in the bar near the fireplace doesn't suck either.
No, yeah. If I could reserve that spot for me, I would. I tried to make it my office. They said no. Oh, well.
There are so few places in Annapolis that do have fireplaces.
That's true. We are one of them, and it is a very popular spot. So, yeah.
Coming up at the end of the month, February 29th through March 8th, is Annapolis Restaurant Week. And Blackwall Hitch is one of the newer restaurants in town. But, you've been around for, about 8 years now?
6.
6 years?
6 years.
And you've been a participant from year one. And what is going on at Blackwall Hitch? And what does Restaurant Week mean to you guys?
Well, Restaurant Week is something I think that many restaurants in the area look forward to because winter is just a hard time to talk people into coming out and eating. Most years it's cold. We haven't had the cold this year, but you kind of hibernate in the winter. So restaurants try different campaigns. I know right now we have winter specials running on different nights, but Restaurant Week is the time where the Downtown Annapolis Partnership has sort of put out a big banner and ginned up a lot of enthusiasm for this offering. And it's a great deal. A 2-course lunch for $15.95 and then a 3-course dinner for $34.95. And the list of participating restaurants, I think they have 40 in the area. It's fantastic.
Well, my favorite thing is that you get to try a little bit, okay? If I hadn't been to Blackwall Hitch, which would be a lie, but that's, if I had not been there, it's a great opportunity without spending, a crazy amount of money to find something that you either love or don't like, but you can get a little sample of what is in all the restaurants. And you've got some newer restaurants that are coming in. You've got some old favorites. I know there are some that what I would consider special event restaurants that tend to be a little bit more expensive, and this is a great opportunity to get them in between those special events.
Absolutely. The range of restaurants is pretty impressive. And you're right. It does give you an opportunity to try places you might not have been to before and also to experience some dishes you might not have had before. I don't know how all the other restaurants craft their menu, but our chef did a mix of some of our popular items. Plus, he put in some items that had been popular from menus past. We change our menu like many restaurants every spring. It's a spring-summer menu and then a fall-winter menu. So on the menu for Restaurant Week, we're going to have some favorites from a fall-winter menu from last year that we're really excited to bring back.
It's funny you mentioned that. And now that I think about it, Restaurant Week, the menus need to be specific to Restaurant Week. How often are you going to be able to come in and hit that price point with the regular menu? So it is a unique opportunity to try something different, and it gives the chefs an opportunity to experiment and play a little bit as well, and sort of makes them happy.
It does. I know on our menu, for example, one of my favorites is on the lunch offering. We have an avocado and smoked tomato sandwich on toasted multigrain bread. It's got bread, it's got avocado, it's got tomato. Right there, you got me. I love it all. But then again, what we have that I think you would like is the sliced roast beef sandwich, which is piled up and delicious. Uh-huh. So that sounds more your speed.
Now we're talking.
There you go. On our particular menu, we have a Moab potato. MOAB. That's an acronym for Mother of All Baked Potatoes.
I thought it was, and you got Moab, Utah, and potatoes are from Idaho, which are from next door to Utah.
There's all kinds of connections. But basically, this is a huge potato. It's a 1 pound potato. It's filled with your regulars of sour cream, chive and butter.
Hold it. 1 pound potato?
A 1 pound potato. Yeah, we weigh them.
It's like the size of your head.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a huge potato. You get it with all the regular stuff, and then you can choose one of 3 toppings. You can choose a crab topping, short rib topping, or a shrimp blackwall topping. And it's all that. It's delicious. It's comfort food on your plate right there.
No, that's in the dinner menu?
That's on the dinner menu.
Is that an entree or a side?
Oh, yes. It's an entree. Because when you top that bad boy with short rib, crispy onions, and chives, that's a meal.
Wow. Wow. Now, you guys do not do breakfast, although Restaurant Week does offer breakfast for some places that do. I know you can get them at Miss Shirley's and a couple other places.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to wear out the breakfast menu.
And what does it mean as far as the business to you guys? I mean, a lot of restaurants have said that it's, the doldrums of winter. And it's difficult to get somebody out. I mean, typically, I want to say we're fortunate or unfortunate that we haven't had a really bad winter.
Well, it depends on your perspective, if you're a snow lover or not.
True.
Me, I think this winter's fantastic, but I know a lot of people do not.
I'm sensing a little bit of a southern accent here, but
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You're right. Winter is tough because you're coming off of the Christmas season when we all spent a lot of our budget, and you're getting ready for tax season. So winter, these few months in here, they are hard on restaurants. So like I said, Restaurant Week is just a brilliant marketing opportunity because Downtown Annapolis Partnership publicizes all of the restaurants that are involved, and we get to sort of unite under one banner. And it's this across-the-board special. You know that no matter what restaurant you go to on their participating list, you're going to get 3 courses for dinner for $34.95, whether it's at Blackwall Hitch, whether it's at Carroll's Creek, whether it's at any of the restaurants. And also in a climate, as you and I have talked about before, where we've seen so many restaurants who have not made it through the season, it's really great to have this opportunity to stand up and go, hey, we're still your local restaurants and we're still here.
What are your favorites on here? Obviously, we talked about that yucky avocado and tomato thing in the Moab.
The Moab potato. The Moab it's pretty hard to follow that. But we also have a bucatini marinara and meatballs, and that's on our lunch and our dinner offering, so you can have that for either one. Our fried green tomatoes, as you said, you sensed a southern accent, but that's always my favorite. That is on our lunch offering. So yeah, Chef's soup of the day is going to be rotating through, and he comes up with some amazing soups. Our chef is Mente Lawson. He's the mind behind this menu crafting, and he's done a great job. So
it's amazing to watch different chefs and create different menus and different experiences. And I know that Blackwall Hitch does also have a chef's dinner periodically.
We do, once a month. In fact, our next one is Tuesday, February 18th. And then after that, it's March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, which you know what the theme's going to be there. But yeah, we do. And like you said, chefs get an opportunity on Restaurant Week to kind of put together a different menu. When you're working with a chef and then you have a set menu every day of the week, you know they're going to get bored. So opportunities like Restaurant Week menus, special menus, chef's table that we do once a month at Blackwall Hitch.
What is that all about? I mean, I know you've done that.
Absolutely.
Quickly, just tell me a little bit about.
We've been doing chef's table at Blackwall Hitch once a month for pretty much the entire time I've been there, so for 5 years. It is a 4-course dinner. It's paired with wine. It's all-inclusive price, $95, and that includes your tax gratuity and everything. We have with each course, our chef, it's original cuisine. It's whatever his inspiration is. There's really no holds put on him. He gets to give him an opportunity to play, because like I said, chefs, when you have a creative chef, they do get a little bored with the same stuff all the time. So, he's done all kinds of things. He did an amazing Game of Thrones themed dinner a few months back. This month, his theme is Pardon My French, where he's done a French-inspired menu. With each course, the chef comes out and talks to the diners about his inspiration for the food. We have a wine expert there that talks about why we paired this particular dish with this particular particular wine. It's more than just a dinner and wine. It's sort of a food network experience where you get
a little bit of education to go with
Absolutely. And diners ask questions and they get involved. And we have the same diners come back time and time again because they want to see what the next thing is.
I don't think there's anybody else in town that does that.
There are other places who do wine dinners, but they, I don't think they do them quite like we do. We have several of our regular guests who go to other wine dinners, and there's a little more interaction with ours. So that's one thing that has been very important to us in the 5 years that we've done it, is to involve our guests and give them the opportunity to ask questions of the chef. It's inside the mind of a chef.
What's the best way to find out? Well, to find out about Annapolis Restaurant Week, you want to go to AnnapolisRestaurantWeek.com. You can also go to the Downtown Annapolis Partnership's Facebook page. All that information is there. If you are on the Eye on Annapolis email list, we do send out an email with all links to all the menus and the restaurants and everything else. But how's the best way to get in touch with Blackwall Hitch? The website is
BlackwallHitchAnnapolis.com.
Really, the best way is to go down to Tavern and 6th Street. It's a door that is right on the corner.
Exactly. It's our bright yellow doors. Come on
and
in.
Walk in, plop yourself down in front of the fireplace. It'll be right in as you walk in on your right. Enjoy a meal or a lunch or a dinner at Blackwall Hitch.
We'd love to have you. Come on in.
Lee Hurt, thanks very much.
Thank you.
We're sitting at one of my favorite places down on Forest Drive, the Annapolis Smokehouse, with Jen Crone, who is one of the owners. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good, John. How are you?
You know, we're getting psyched for Restaurant Week. I know you guys are joining it. I see your menu is up, your website is up there and everything else, but what is Restaurant Week doing for the Annapolis Smokehouse? I mean, you guys have been here 7 years now, been in here from day one, and as I always say to everybody, I say, don't necessarily go off the menu at the Smokehouse. Make sure you find their specials, because the specials are just really off the charts good.
Well, thank you. You know, it's
everything is really off the charts good, but the specials are exceptionally off the charts.
We appreciate that, and it's funny you say that, because when you do Restaurant Week, you always try to do things that are actually on your menu, though, because if people like them, then they can come back and get it all the time. Although I think our specials are great. I think for us, we've always tried to feature menu items that are on our menus all the time. That way people have new experiences and they can always come back and get them. Although Restaurant Week also gives us the opportunity to bring these people in at this wonderful week where they can get, a $13 or $15.95 lunch and a $34.95 dinner, and then they can get used to us, come back in, and then we get to wow them with the specials. So I think, it's a win-win either way.
It really is. Now, what are your specials that you've got going for the Restaurant Week?
So for Restaurant Week, for $15.95, we're doing your choice of a cup of chili, a cup of soup, a small Caesar, or a small side salad. And then you get your choice of 3 sandwiches that we serve here on our menu. We've got a Big Lebowski, which is a kielbasa with peppers and onions and spicy mustard. It's quite good. We're also offering our veggie burger, which is a smoked black bean burger, which is quite delicious. And we are offering as well our shrimp po' boy. And then for dinner, you get smoked prime rib, which is great, which we always do on Wednesday nights here at Smokehouse. The prime rib is good. And our whiskey salmon, which we bathe in bourbon and then rub in our house rub and lightly smoke, which is fantastic. And then we did put a special on, interestingly enough that you said specials, a veggie lasagna, which my chef makes an incredible veggie lasagna, so that we had a vegetarian option for
That's something I would not expect to get lasagna at the Smokehouse.
Well, we lightly smoke it, so it's got a little smoke kick to it, but he does a really good one. So we have that as well.
You guys have really sort of grown down here in, I don't know whether we're going to South Annapolis or whatever. We're down on Forest Drive, we're Forest and Hillsmere and Bay Ridge, I think. It's, all that crazy intersection next to Bay Ridge.
The neck,
Wine
or the peninsula, as they call it.
But you guys are in the process of opening up another place.
Yes, we are.
It's the former Ebb Tide location. It's going to be called the Dark Horse?
Dark Horse. Just Dark Horse. Yep, we looking forward to that sometime. We're hoping the 3rd week of March or so. It's going to be a great little local neighborhood pub. We're going to have a hot dog menu and burgers and dogs and lots of TVs and sports and music to really honor the heritage of the building. Has been a bar since 1942.
Wow.
We love this neighborhood.
Finally, something older than me in this building. It's like, great.
But, we feel really honored to be able to keep that place going. I think for a while everybody was worried that it was going to go away. So
Any crossover in the menus?
there's going to be no crossover on the menu at all. So
I mean, obviously you can get a burger there and you get a burger here. but
Sure. And you can get wings there, but they're not going to be Smokehouse wings. We're trying to keep ourselves entirely separate.
Okay.
That way, if you want smoked wings, you got to come here, and if you want a good hot dog, you got to go down there. We have an extensive hot dog menu, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I
Okay.
can't wait to show you guys.
I am looking forward to that. Now, what does Restaurant Week mean to you? I mean, is that really help you guys out in the winter time?
It does help us out in the way that I think, and for me, we take advantage of Restaurant Week as owners as well. We have 2 dates with 2 different groups of friends, and we always go out during Restaurant Week.
Where do you go?
Try a new restaurant. We try to mix it up a little bit. Ruth's Chris was last year. What was before that? O'Leary's was the year before. Is Lunas on this year? I think they are. Lunas
Yep,
is,
they've been.
of course, which we go there all the time anyway. But I think it gives people an opportunity to kind of try places they haven't tried before, make date nights with their friends to go out because, you get a great deal. I mean, you can't get $34.95 at Lunas's ever.
No.
So it's nice to be able to go out during Restaurant Week and kind of, have a really nice dinner and play with your friends.
And that's
so
that's
great
what I
for
really like
everybody.
about it is that you've got some of the places that are special event restaurants. Okay, Carroll's Creek borderlines on that, and certainly Lunas's and whatnot. You're not eating there typically every night of the week.
Correct.
I mean, you could be eating at the Smokehouse every night of the week.
We hope so.
You guys are very, yeah. I mean, you're very, very affordable, very reasonable, and great food. But it's a great time to get out and try
Nice to treat yourself.
something there and say, hey, I need to come back and try the full Monty,
Absolutely.
if you will,
Absolutely.
a little bit later.
Yeah, so we do. We see some movement. We see some new faces. We have an opportunity, after being here 7 years, to kind of shine and show people what we got, and hopefully, gain some new friends here at Smokehouse.
I'd be remiss in not talking about, even though it has really nothing to do with Restaurant Week, but your happy hour, okay, which is not a happy hour at all. It's like a happy 3/4 of a day.
Yeah,
or
yes,
something.
yes. So we do happy hour, and thank you for mentioning that, from 3 to 7 p.m., 7 days a week, where you get $2 off pretty much, everything. Rail drinks, draft beers, domestic bottles, house wines. And every day we do 2 different $5 bar food specials as well. So our happy hour is wonderful. And then we do brunch, of course, on Saturdays and Sundays, where we do $3 Bloody Marys and mimosas until 3 o'clock, at which time happy hour starts. Right. So Saturdays and Sundays are also a good day to come in and get some brunch.
And not a bad place to watch a football game when it is football season.
Correct.
Or baseball, even.
Correct. Or hockey. We've got all the packages.
Yeah, I'm not a big hockey fan or
I'm not either.
basketball, so it's...
I'm a Caps fan, but they're not doing real well this year.
not this year, I'm not.
Exactly.
Well, Jen Kroon, good luck at Restaurant Week. We'll be in here for sure at the Annapolis Smokehouse. We're looking forward to seeing the Dark Horse open up in a couple weeks.
Can't wait.
At this point, you're down almost 2 weeks now.
2 to 3. Yeah, we're getting as quick as we can, believe me. So we can't wait to show you guys.
Fingers crossed. Best of luck. We'll see you on Restaurant Week.
Thank you, guys.
This has been an update from Eye on Annapolis. Please visit us at eyeonannapolis.net. Follow us on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. And be sure to subscribe to our daily news brief podcast, which is delivered every Monday through Friday to your phone or device at 7 a.m.